Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Offside Opinions podcast. I'm Asher Niotia,
And I'm Levi Nall.
and we'll just jump right in with a recap of last week's games.
So, first game of the week, Lions-Packers. I was real excited for this one. NFC North divisional games are the most fun things to watch. No bias involved in that opinion. So the Packers, I think they would have won that game if their offense had a quicker start in the first quarter and if their defense had played a little bit stronger in the fourth quarter. I mean, it was obviously a 3-point game, and it all comes down to the smallest of details at that point. And even just the opening drive being slow was, I think, one of the main things that contributed to their loss.
Yeah, I agree. That was a really good team, and I think that's a win in itself.
Yeah.
Jordan Love, no INTs, no turnovers. I mean, Josh Jacobs looked phenomenal, 3 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Packers, they play pretty well. They'll probably make a pretty good playoff run, if I have to guess. Divisional round may be in the cards for them. But yeah, I think they play phenomenally against a top-tier team.
Yeah, they just need to clean up the little details for the playoffs.
Yeah. The Lions, I mean, they played a good game, but I think their defense is really selling them right now.
Mm-hmm.
And really, it's just, will their defense step it up? Because back-to-back games, one-score wins, it doesn't look pretty, but wins are wins after all.
Mm-hmm.
Jets, Dolphins.
So for the Jets, they pulled out pretty early, but they're still working on playing well throughout the game and finishing games. They're clearly out of the playoffs at this point. I think that it's become clear that firing Salo is not a good decision. So you look to next season. You look at maybe benching Aaron Rodgers, drafting a quarterback. Do you keep with the same coach? You obviously are not going to be rehiring Salo. So
No, yeah, the Saleh firing, I called it, way back when he was actually fired. It's a scapegoat firing.
Yep.
And really, it really comes down to the rest of their season is what will Mr. Attention Hog himself, Aaron Rodgers, really do? And if he retires, he retires. If he stays, he stays. But I don't think you blow up the core of Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson, and Devontae Adams just yet.
Yeah.
The defense, still, it's a solid defense. It's just, can they get a coach to actually lead them solidly?
Mm-hmm.
The Dolphins, they stay alive in playoff contentions. But again, they got their stars involved, they won. That's the recipe. Just get stars involved, you win. And I don't think there's really much else to say there, is there?
Yeah.
Falcons, Vikings.
Yeah, so the Falcons, I mean, that first drive had me scared. I genuinely thought they might give us a run for our money, but Kirk Cousins, the moment he started getting put under pressure by a half-decent D-line and not being able to rely on Bijan to run all the way down the field on every play, he started throwing a lot more picks, and it happened again where he had a lot of interceptions and they had no passing touchdowns. And, this is becoming a serious issue. I think they need to consider giving Michael Penix a chance because if they keep playing like the way they're playing, they're not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to win their division. I think it's time to consider trading or benching Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. Kirk O'Chains has thrown about, what was it? 10, I think it was, 10 receptions in
roughly.
the last 5 games, something like that. They were contenders for the NFC South at one point.
Absolutely.
Now they're just looking like another team that's going to be bottom half of the NFC South. And that's saying a lot when you have the Saints and the Panthers in the division. Mm-hmm. But I don't think they're in the race anymore for the NFC South. I think the Bucs have basically came in with a rather healthy squad now and taken that from them. The Vikings. Sam Darnold is, dare I say it, a new, younger, more mobile version of Kirk Cousins. Mm-hmm. But the only thing I can't say is if he's a playoff choker or not.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
But for sure, I think it looks like he's actually like a Kirk O'Chains that's younger and more explosive.
And it seems like he's gotten the interception thing under control. So if he keeps that up, he's a great quarterback.
And I think, will they be able to just take the first seed from the Lions? I mean, I don't think it's
still in the question.
Totally out of the question. Yeah,
it's still in the question. We just have to see how we do in the playoffs.
Yeah, the Giants Saints. And before you say anything, this matchup really doesn't matter But in case you're a Giants or Saints fan, we don't want to just push you off to the side. So we'll still give you a recap, but we all know it doesn't matter.
What a dumpster fire on both teams. I mean, man, I expected this to be a Saints blowout at least. I expected me to just be hating on the Giants. I'm going to be hating on both teams. This is horrible. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
It's like, dumpster fire A is like in the north, and then dumpster fire B is in the south.
Yep.
It's just which dumpster fire do you want to be in? The one that's like Tommy DeVito-esque, or the one that's like we like Cajun food-esque? It's like you decide which medium do you want. The Panthers, Eagles.
Yeah, Panthers, man, they're becoming. I mean, we were talking about it last week. The Browns were the Grim Reapers or whatever. Yeah, the Panthers have taken that spot. The Panthers are giving everyone a run for their money now. I mean, they played phenomenal against what I thought was a really tough defense up until now, and they're still a tough defense, but I think that's just showing how much Bryce Young has matured. That they're still out of the question for this season, but next year I think they've got a solid lineup.
Yeah, the Panthers, I would love to see a rebrand to become the Carolina Reapers. I feel like that would be a fire rebrand.
Yeah.
But still, Bryce Young, no weapons, it shows. Okay, I mean, the guy is making the best with what he has, and it's been looking pretty good in the past few weeks.
Yeah.
But he's kind of like in that Drake May scenario, but he's like a year after Drake May. It's like, what would he do with weapons if he continued to play this good?
Yeah.
I think that's the question.
Mm-hmm.
For the Eagles, I mean, they barely won. But really, Jalen Hurts throwing only for 108 yards on 23 pass attempts against that kind of secondary.
And with the receiver weapons he has.
Yeah, like you have A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith
back,
Dallas Goedert. I mean, you have Saquon, too. Like, you have 4-star pass catchers, and you're only throwing 108 yards on 23 attempts. I don't know that. I mean, I remember he's been being put in MVP conversations, but this is not like even a decently good performance from any
now people are
quarterback.
saying he's holding them back. Like when a few weeks ago he was in MVP conversations. Yeah, it's not looking pretty.
Yeah. The Browns, the Steelers, always a rivalry, that's for sure.
Yeah. I hoped that the Browns would give him another loss to keep him humble, but I mean, I'd say even just scoring 2 touchdowns on the Steelers' defense is enough of an accomplishment.
The Browns, you never, ever put Kadarius Toney in, whether or not you're down 50, or you're in the fourth quarter, or if you're even down like 5 points. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when in the game you put Kadarius Toney in. You just don't do it. They put Kadarius Toney in. First punt return he had, he got flagged for taunting. Second punt return, he didn't even catch the ball. The ball literally bounced in his hand and dropped to the floor, to the field. And the Steelers recovered it. Like, did you not learn from last year with what happened to the Chiefs? A guy doesn't change just leaving that team. He stays the same. And it showed. He stayed the same. You don't put him in. But I digress. We all know Kadarius Toney sucks. The Steelers, great defensive showing. Russ is still cooking. They are legitimate contenders.
Yeah. Yeah, that's. I mean, I say, I was wondering if the Browns were going to be what would hold the AFC North back. They've finally overcome that hurdle. I think now they can overcome anyone in the playoffs.
Yeah, and not much else to say there. The Raiders lose to the Bucs.
Yeah, the Raiders. I mean, they've been sort of playing great, but this was a little bit back down to earth. They have a clear need for a QB. The Bucs defense is not exactly intimidating. So, I mean, they've shown that the rest of their offense is solid enough to be worth keeping around. So, just fix the QB issues over the offseason, and yeah.
When will the QBs for the Raiders realize that Brock Bowers is the GOAT, and that to win games, you need to feed the ball to Brock Bowers? Because him having 4 receptions for like 45 yards, neither does that help your team. Neither does that help your fantasy managers, but it also doesn't help anybody. Like, it legitimately does not help anybody. So please, get Brock Bowers the ball, and everybody will be happy. The Bucs, look, Baker had 3 turnovers. Again, 2 INTs, 1 fumble. And for a guy that I desperately want to be putting in the top 5 of the NFL QBs, that's just not a good stat line. And really, if he starts limiting the turnovers, I feel like the Bucs will win a lot of games more comfortably. And really, right now, Baker looks like a more turnover-prone version of Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
Just maybe not as good of a team as Josh Allen has, but also like just, in general, more turnover-prone Josh Allen. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Titans-Jags.
Yeah, Titans, a few weeks ago I was hoping, maybe Will Levis is the solution for the future, but this was a terrible game. I don't even know what to say. The Titans are not contenders.
No one cares about this game.
Yep.
Moving on. Cardinals-Seahawks.
So the Cardinals pretty much lost any shot at the division in this game. I think it's become clear that they're not real contenders in any way, even beyond winning their division. So I think most likely after this game, it's still a very competitive division. I think we can still say that the Rams are probably going to win that division, but the Seahawks are also showing some strength.
Yeah, I mean, the Cardinals, their remaining schedule is the Panthers, the Patriots, the Rams, and the 49ers. Panthers-Patriots, I think the Panthers will be a tough game to win. The Patriots depends on how Drake May plays. Rams, they're not winning that game. And then the 49ers depends on how basically the 49ers core plays. But they might have a shot, but they really need the Seahawks or the Rams to just fall off completely.
Yeah.
The Seahawks, great win, but now they have a gauntlet coming up. They play the Packers. That's a for sure L. They play the Vikings. I think that's another for sure L. They play the Bears. That might be a W. And then the
probably.
Rams, it's an L. So, 1-3 in the last 4 games, and that is with the bias of a Rams fan. I don't see the Seahawks winning the division, but, you can call me up for the biasness, et cetera, but I don't see it.
Yeah. So speaking of which, Bills-Rams, man, that was a fantastic game. Both teams played amazing. I really don't know what to bring out bad about the Bills except that they didn't control the clock enough. That was the Bears, or that was the Rams being smart with the ball. But given the amount of clock time they played with, the Bills played amazing. It's not just Josh Allen at this point either. Some of his receiver weapons are starting to come up. So, they're definitely still real contenders after that loss.
Yeah, I know Matt Collins, he had a great catch. Khalil Shakir had some good catches.
Oh, yeah.
Josh Allen was dotting up his receivers. That certainly helped.
Mm-hmm.
3 passing TDs, 3 rushing TDs, which were tush pushes. So I don't really know if you want to count those as rushing TDs, but whatever. It looks like he's an MVP candidate. Not even an MVP candidate. I think he's the MVP for this year.
Yeah.
It's just really will his defense step it up, because letting the Rams score 44 points on you is crazy, to say the least. The Rams, Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp are the best wide receiver doing the league. I don't care what you say about the Vikings. I'm going to preface this with that, because they played the Falcons secondary, which had Jordan Addison right here, and then this Falcons defender who is running this weird route and then just falls over here, and it's just an easy touchdown. The Falcons secondary sucks. You cannot take that game as
you can't deny
it. This game shows that they're the best wide receiver duo in the league.
Come on, 5 touchdowns between the two of them.
At least the Bills secondary is decent. Puka had 172 yards, 1 TD catching, 1 TD rushing. Cooper Kupp had 100 yards and a TD.
At least they have a designated starter quarterback.
So, you can't tell me Sam Darnold isn't looking just as good as Matthew Stafford, if not better this season.
No, not better than Matthew Stafford.
He's looking just as good. Just as good. I don't want to hear it. Sam Darnold, he has the best wide receiver in the league. I'll give you that. He has Justin Jefferson. But Jordan Addison, as good as he was in that game against a terrible secondary, I still think that Cooper Kupp would clear Jordan Addison any day of the week.
Yeah, we'll see.
The remaining schedule for the Rams is the 49ers, Jets, Cardinals, and Seahawks. I think they have a realistic shot of winning the division, just in general. The 49ers haven't looked good. That should be a W, I think, right? Probably. The Jets, you know it's going to be W. Cardinals, tough game, but I think that the Cardinals are going to sell this. Last time they played the Cardinals, they weren't healthy. This time they are. I think this time the Rams win. Seahawks, I think the division will come down to this game.
Yeah.
So I expect this to be a very, very good game. But I could totally see the Rams doing what they did a few weeks ago, beating the Seahawks. Bears, 49ers.
Yeah, Bears, ugly loss. I mean, I expected it given they just fired their head coach. And I don't think anyone expected their season to go uphill from here. They were already out of the playoff race. I think it was the right decision to fire their head coach, but you have to wait until next season to know for sure if they hired the right one. So we'll see how the rebuild goes. Not much else to say.
I think the Bears season is now a wash. Officially can be declared as a wash.
Yeah, that was a bad loss.
And as much as I want to say that Caleb Williams, he's a good quarterback, he is. I mean, he played pretty well in the second half. The first half was terrible. I mean, I saw the graphic of the Bears having 2 yards and the 49ers having 231 yards, which is simply, astounding. But, I think the Bears, the season's now a wash. Next season, aim for Robert Saleh as your head coach.
Yeah.
If Bill Belichick really wants to come back, then you might want him, but you don't. You really just want a head coach to tie everything together. You have everything I think you would need for a playoff run. The 49ers, great win, but do they really have a shot at the division? They have the remaining schedule for the 49ers is the Dolphins, Rams, Lions, and Cardinals. So the Dolphins, I think they're losing that game.
Yep.
The Rams, I think they're losing that game. The Lions, I think for sure they're losing that game. Yeah, for sure. The Cardinals, I can see them winning that game. That shouldn't be
It's possible, yeah.
So I think really they might have a shot, but it depends on how the Dolphins and the Lions game go for sure. The Chargers lost to the Devils. So next.
It comes down to doinked field goal like that. And especially with J.K. Dobbins and Ladd McConkey out, I'm not blaming anything on Justin Herbert. I'm not blaming anything on Jim Harbaugh. I think you can't really play Jim Harbaugh football without a very competent, at least I think J.K. Dobbins is better than that running back. So their offense just wasn't really clicking, and they still almost won. It came down to that doinked field goal.
Yeah. They're still poised for a deep playoff run as long as Ladd McConkey is healthy.
Yep.
The running back situation isn't going to get any better. I know J.K. Dobbins has an MCL injury, I think it was, and I don't think he's coming back from that anytime soon.
IR, so.
Their defense, they're still solid. I mean, they're still playing one of the best defenses in the league. It's an unfortunate ending, but it is what it is. The Chiefs, the special teams needs to be given the MVP award as soon as possible because they had the blocked field goal against the Broncos. They had this game-winning field goal. They had a game-winning field goal against the Bengals. Didn't they have another one too? I think they had one more. I can't remember when.
But Panthers.
Oh, right. Yeah, the Panthers. They had that one too. Yep. And it's just
how many more times can they keep winning these
How many more times? And also, it's will this devil magic ever run out? I'm legitimately asking that question. When Brady retired, everybody was like, oh, yeah, thank God. The God, Brady, he's retired. Oh, my God, thank you. We can finally have somebody else apart from the Patriots win. And the Chiefs are like, yeah, we're the new Tom Brady.
Yep. Yeah.
Bengals, Cowboys.
Yeah, the Cowboys, they lost in Cowboys fashion, but it was still a good game, I think. I think obviously the Bengals defense has struggled all year, but they still had a good showing. I think if they just gotten a little bit luckier with the way the football bounced on that block punt, they could have won that.
Yeah, and really, even if on that block punt, what happened was that the Cowboys guy, he touched the football, which he shouldn't have if he couldn't have caught it. And though it seemed like he caught it and then dropped it again, it was kind of weird. But at the end of the day, the Cowboys, I feel like it's a win in itself just playing that competently against the Bengals. And, even for the Cowboys defense, being able to hold the Bengals offense to 27 points, something that not even the Ravens defense, which is better, could do. I think that's a win in itself. And the Bengals, Joe Burrow, simply phenomenal. Again, 300-plus yards, 3 TDs. He is, if the Bengals had a better record, I would probably pick him over Josh Allen for MVP. But they don't. So, Allen for MVP. Now for our picks and predictions for this week. So, first game of Thursday is going to be Rams 49ers.
So, I gotta say Rams to make you happy, but McCaffrey is still on IR. Isaiah Guerrero sucks, so Jared Verse he's gonna be getting him a lot. Rams offense is looking insane. The easy win.
Yeah, I agree. I have Rams too. No offense to Guerrero. All right, Cardinals legend Guerrero, but still, it comes down to whose offense is better. Because both defenses are not playing incredibly well, and I think it's the Rams' offense, which is better. Cowboys, Panthers. Give me the Panthers.
Yeah, I got the Panthers on that one. The Cowboys look decently strong, but they're still making stupid Cowboys mistakes, whereas the Panthers are looking like a really good unit. This is an easy Panthers win. Yeah.
Chiefs, Browns.
Give me the Browns. I'm sick of the Chiefs winning these close games. I'm happy with seeing the Browns upset AFC teams. I got Browns on this one.
Until I see the Chiefs lose by one possession, I'm just going to keep picking the Chiefs to win by one possession. So yeah, I feel like it's obvious enough. Dolphins, Texans.
So I got the Dolphins on that one because the Texans, they almost lost to the Jaguars without Trevor Lawrence. If they take a dirty hit like that on Tua, I think the game's over for the Dolphins. But, other than that, if that doesn't happen, which it won't because the guy got ejected, not ejected, suspended, I think the Dolphins win that one.
Yeah, give me the Dolphins too. That guy, his name's Azeez Al-Shaair.
Yeah,
suspended 3 games for the NFL. Yeah, I'm going to pick the Dolphins here. Mm. Jets, Jaguars. Nobody cares about this matchup, but it's the Jets for me.
Yeah, I got the Jags because they've been really resilient without Trevor Lawrence. They've played really well considering they haven't had him basically all season. So I think they can handle the Jets.
Who is their backup? Mac Jones. You think Mackie Boy can beat the Jets defense?
I mean, anything can happen. The Jets are looking so weak. I think they can win.
You think who's on the Jags defense that can stop that past team? Okay, whatever. Commanders, Saints. Give me the Commanders.
Yeah, I got the Commanders for that one. Saints are kind of ugly.
Yeah, I feel like it's obvious.
Yeah.
Ravens, Giants.
So I got the Ravens for the same reason.
Yeah, I feel fairly obvious again.
Yeah.
Bengals, Titans.
Yeah, so hear me out. I got the Titans. I know you don't like hearing that probably because you just said that Joe Burrow deserves an MVP. But the Titans, based on my assumption that they're an on and off team, last week was clearly an off. So, it follows that this week would be an on. And the Bengals defense sucks. So if they play even half decent, they'll probably outscore them.
Same thing could be said for the Titans defense. They suck. The offense is worse than the Bengals offense. So I'm expecting a big game from Joe Burrow and crew, and that's why I'm picking the Bengals. Mm-hmm. Patriots, Cardinals.
So, yeah, probably Cardinals. I think, it's not outside of Drake May's ability to pull off an upset, especially against a mid defense like the Cardinals. But the Cardinals also pulled off some really good pressures against the Vikings, which made it a lot more difficult for Sam Darnold to get the ball downfield. I think either team really has a shot, but I think the Cardinals win.
Give me the Patriots. I think that the Patriots defense is going to be able to lock down the Cardinals offense. And even as mid as the Patriots defense is, I don't think the Cardinals defense is that much better, despite what Levi's saying. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to pick the Patriots. Yeah. Colts, Broncos. I got the Broncos.
I got the Colts. Anthony Richardson has been looking pretty mid, and the Broncos defense is a little bit intimidating, but I think that they can pull off the upset. I think it's probably most likely that the Broncos win, but I got Colts.
I would be very surprised if Anthony Richardson does not throw 2 interceptions to Patrick Surtain II. Mm-hmm. So I think it's fairly obvious the Broncos have the better offense, they have the better defense, and that's why I'm picking the Broncos to win. For the best matchup of the week, Bills-Lions.
Absolutely the best matchup. I think the Lions are the most likely win, but I really want to see the Bills win this game.
I don't care what people say. Give me the Bills. If Jared Goff is even slightly pressured, and I'm about to go on a big rant about this.
No, Von Miller's going to get him.
Jared Goff will fold, and that's what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Not only is the Lions' great O-line going to be tested this game, the Lions' defense is going to be heavily tested.
Oh, yeah.
And Jared Goff himself, if he doesn't throw 5 interceptions, he's at least throwing 1 this game. I have a high feeling. And I don't think that Amon-Ra is going to be able to get quality looks from the slot that he usually gets.
Yeah.
For which reason I'm going to be picking the Bills. But that's mostly out of my spite for Jared Goff. Bucks Chargers.
Yeah, so the Bucks Chargers, I think the Chargers will probably win this one. I said earlier that you can't really play Jim Harbaugh football without a good running back, but they'll be having Ladd McConkey back, and the Bucks defense is pretty mid. So I think the pass game will be back to what it was a few weeks ago.
I can see that happening, but I like Baker Mayfield. I'm going to pick the Bucks. Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans is a very strong connection. I think better than the connection that Justin Herbert has with Ladd McConkey so far. Some of which is due to Ladd being a rookie and not having that much opportunity to really work out together. But I feel like the Bucks defense, it doesn't have to do a terribly good job against the Chargers offense. It just has to be able to contain them to within like 30 points. Yeah. And the Chargers defense has to be able to contain the Bucks offense, which if you take away Mike Evans, you still have Rashad White and Bucky Irving, which is a good 1-2 punch at running back position. Yeah. And you have Cade Otton, a pretty good tight end so far this year. So I think the Bucks will be able to pull this off. For another good game this week, we have the Steelers-Eagles.
So the Steelers, going into the Steelers-Ravens game, I think reasonably predicted that the Steelers would win. And, while the Eagles have a better run game than the Ravens, I think the Steelers can still hold Saquon Barkley at least to less than 300 yards, So, and I think with how much Jalen Hurts has been kind of holding the Eagles back and Saquon Barkley's been carrying, I think this will be a pretty easy Steelers win.
I'm going to pick the Steelers too. I think that Russell Wilson is going to have another phenomenal game. Yeah. I think George Pickens should be back for this game, which is really going to help them out. And I also think their defense is going to be able to tighten up against the Eagles, like he was saying. Yeah. And I don't think the Eagles' defense is going to be able to tighten up against the Steelers. So I'm going to pick the Steelers here. Packers-Seahawks.
So I've got the Seahawks. I know you hate me saying that, but they're going to have Kenneth Walker back, and that was a big problem, not having him, And the Packers' defense is also not looking too strong, especially with the way they played against the Lions. So, even though DK Metcalf is looking terrible, Jackson Smith-Njigba has really stepped up. So, I think that should be a Seahawks win.
Give me the Packers. Jordan Love, I think Josh Jacobs is better than Kenneth Walker. I think Jordan Love is better than Geno Smith. I think that overall, despite how good the Seahawks defense has been, the Packers defense, it's not on the same level as the Seahawks, but also it'll be easier for the Packers to play better, I think, than the Seahawks will have to. And I also think that the Packers are going to actually make the playoffs, unlike the Seahawks. I'm going to pick the Packers here. If I'm wrong, I could totally see it going either way, but who doesn't want the NFC West race to become more interesting? Yeah. Bears-Vikings.
So, Vikings, of course, one, the Bears have been playing terrible, and two, you cannot beat the Vikings while they're wearing whiteout uniforms, enough said.
I'll take the Vikings, I guess. I think it's going to be a test for the Vikings defense to see how they can limit that Bears offense with that many weapons. But I could totally see the Bears winning this. The Falcons, the Raiders.
I got Raiders. Max Crosby and Christian Wilkins are going to be putting the pressure on Kirk Cousins, and you know how poorly he plays under pressure. I think he's going to throw a lot of interceptions, and I think the Raiders are going to have a big bounce back game.
Agreed. Kirk Cousins, I don't see him throwing another touchdown this game either. I see him throwing 2 picks, if anything. Yeah. I think the Raiders they've been getting Brock Bowers involved basically every other game. I think this is every other game where they actually get him involved this game. Yeah. I could see them winning that totally. Mm-hmm. So now, call-ins. Before we put a number into the chat, here are the rules for the call-ins after last week. Please have a hot take ready to give it to us.
Or at least something to say about football.
Yeah, something to say about football apart from football is great or something like that. So please, give us a hot take. I think that's the easiest thing. Or give us one of your takes that you think. We'll answer it if you have, if it's just you want us to grade it, we can grade it too. So, yeah. A number will be being put in chat soon. All right, numbers in chat.
While we're waiting, we could start with power rankings, I guess.
I guess we could. So, actually, before the power rankings, we had a different take. So, was the recipe for how to beat the Bills shown by the Rams?
I think it was. Controlling the clock like that is definitely a good recipe. But I think there are better ways to hold them to fewer points than that for sure. So a stronger defense will have an easier time with it. But
yeah, I agree. I feel like if you put pressure on Josh Allen, which the Rams did, if you have a half-decent secondary that isn't consisted of rookies, which the Rams have only rookies in the secondary or second-year players, and if you're able to just basically limit that offense to a shorter time clock while your offense consumes more clock, I think you'll be able to beat the Bills. And I think that's what the Rams did, and that plan worked. So unless the Bills fix something, I could totally see that the Bills are being defeated in that way. So we have our first call-in, so we'll be expecting that right now.
Hello.
Hello.
Is this Offside Opinions?
This is Offside Opinions.
Okay, perfect. So, I want to talk about the hit on Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, man.
On a scale of 1 to 10, or just discuss it. Was it actually dirty as people are saying?
I've had a friend who is a corner on a high school football team repeatedly tell me that was not a dirty hit and did not deserve to get flagged. And you do have to be expecting a big hit when you're sliding that close to the line of scrimmage. And at certain angles it doesn't look quite as dirty, but I think it was still, and I don't think it deserved an ejection, but it was definitely still a personal foul.
I agree. I think that it was like he was already lunging, and then he kind of did a fake slide, because he did a fake slide and then slid. And he was already lunging when he actually slid, so he couldn't really stop,
Yeah, I agree here with Levi completely. What happens is that so many quarterbacks have fake sliding that defenses have started to just adjust by just being like, okay, we're just going to hit the quarterback no matter what.
Yeah.
Even if it's like an ejection or something like that, some hits are truly dirty. This one I don't think should be categorized as it. He slid quite late. And I think that by the time Aziz Al-Shire lunged for Trevor Lawrence had barely hit the ground.
Yeah.
And by the time they made contact, Trevor Lawrence was already on the ground. But when you're already lunging, can you you can't just automatically I'm stopping right here. So I can totally see this not being a dirty hit. And also I feel like they need to start instituting rules for when a QB can slide. Yeah. Because there have been so many fake slides that now defenders are just kind of like I was saying earlier, it's just lunging for him. And I think that on a scale of 1 to 10, if you're asking me how dirty of a hit was that, I would be a 3 or a 4 max.
Yeah. Below 5.
All right, anything else for us?
That's all. You're doing great work out here, boys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, have a good one.
You too.
All right, that was our first call-in. So we got a couple more. If y'all want, you can call in. But we'll move to our power rankings.
So I got my top 5 as number 1. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this. The Minnesota Vikings. I didn't want to put the Lions at 1 again, and for a close game against the Packers. And you can't argue with 6 offensive touchdowns, dominating every team we play defensively the way we have been. And, just insane play from our entire receiver core, from TJ Hawkinson, from Sam Darnold, from Aaron Jones. Once that rib heals a little bit better, the fumbles are going to get under control. We're going to be a solid playoff team.
Yeah, might I remind you, your defense has not played good against every team so far. So
most teams. Yeah, and teams. If Stephon Gilmore gets healthy again, it'll be even better.
Really, you have to hope that you don't play a good second or a good wide receiver duo, because otherwise you guys are cooked.
We have the best run defense in the league. That's all I'm saying.
Best run defense in the league is the Chargers.
No, it's the Vikings. I bet you money.
All right, you keep going. Look at the stats.
Okay, well, number 2, I got the Lions because I couldn't put them any lower than that. They've been playing amazing. It was a close game, but they're still 10-1. So, or not 10-1. They're still 12-1. So, you can't really argue with that. Number 3, Steelers. They're dominating the entire AFC. I think that's going to continue. I think, the Chiefs are going to get the 1 seed for the AFC, but I think the Steelers are going to go the farthest. At 4, I got the Rams. Big win. Very big win. They deserve a spot on my power rankings. And they have an easy schedule from here on out, so I think they win the NFC West. And, while their defense isn't perfect, their offense looks near flawless. 5, I got the Chiefs. I hate to put them in my top 5. I hate it. But I couldn't really justify putting anyone else in the top 5. You can't really argue with the record, like I said, with the Lions. So, yeah, Chiefs.
So the Vikings, per game, they give up about 7 yards per attempt.
Passing?
No.
Oh, rushing. Okay.
The Chiefs, they give up around, the same, 7. No, this is defense, right? Yeah, this is defense. Oh, no, this is passing, my bad. Sorry. I thought it was rushing. That's what I meant. Sorry, passing. I looked at it wrong. Yeah, the Chiefs also give up 7. The lowest that I see, the Eagles only give up about 6.
Yeah, I'm not arguing. Our pass defense is not the best.
Yeah, so that's why I was talking about the pass defense.
But
now you're rushing defense, right? So you're saying the rushing defense is the best in the league.
That's what I've heard the commentators say. I haven't
so
actually
the Broncos have a 3.8 yards per YPC thing.
Yeah, yards per carry.
Yeah, yards per carry. And the Chiefs also have a 3.8 yards per carry. The Ravens have a 3.6 yards per carry. That's even lower. The Vikings have a 3.9. So
okay, well, I'm talking overall rankings.
You have the
I'm not talking about
best.
yards per carry. I'm saying we're overall ranked number 1 run defense.
You're the 4th best.
Look at the rankings, man.
You're the 4th best. But anyways, I would be fine with y'all at 3rd if y'all wanted to go at 3rd, but you're still top 5.
You gotta put us
You're still top 5. So his power rankings are done. Now my power rankings. The biggest riser, despite it was not that good of a game, the Bucks. The biggest faller, 100% the Falcons.
I thought you'd put Rams the biggest riser.
No, I can't because they didn't win their division. Nobody's won their division yet, and the NFC West is basically convoluted, and that's why they're all sitting at playoff hunt. Mm-hmm. The hating life right now teams are the Browns, Titans, Cowboys, Jaguars, Raiders, Patriots, Jets, and Giants. Mm-hmm. The Panthers aren't there anymore. That's crazy.
Not anymore.
If you're in between hating life and the future looking bright, you have the Saints, the Bengals because of the defense, the Falcons because of Kirk Cousins, and the Panthers because they don't have no receivers, basically. Mm. Your future looks bright. Colts, Bears, Dolphins. Totally could see the Dolphins being in playoff hunt or even now soon going to be in the playoff wild card. I think they just need a few more wins, get back to .500 or above, and I think they'll be there. Playoff hunt, entire NFC West division, fairly obvious why. Playoff wild card, you have the Commanders, the Chargers, and the Bucks. That's right. I think the Bucks are winning the NFC South. The Chargers, bad loss, but doing field goal, really, that's just football guys being you're not winning today. Commanders, they were on bye, whatever.
Yeah.
In between the wild card and Super Bowl contenders, we have the Packers, the Ravens, the Vikings, the Bills, and the Broncos. I already see the look. I didn't even look at them. I know the look.
Super Bowl contenders, baby.
You're not a Super Bowl contender for one reason and one reason only. Your pass defense. If that improves, I will be willing to put you in Super Bowl contenders.
Once we get Ivan Pace back, it'll be better.
The Eagles are also now in between wild card and Super Bowl contenders. Last week I put them in Super Bowl contenders because they had a phenomenal game. This week they fell off against the Panthers. Super Bowl contenders, Chiefs, Lions, and surprise, surprise, the Steelers. I think Chiefs and Lions, everybody expected at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
The Steelers, they've been the surprise of the season. Totally could see Mike Tomlin winning Coach of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
Also, in general, their defense is one of the best in the leagues, top 5. Offense is definitely top 10. I could see them making a run for it.
Totally. They just got to overcome the Chiefs. The Chiefs have been getting lucky lately, but I think their defense can definitely win that battle.
And really, we're done. But
unless anyone calls in.
We're here for another, 4 minutes, 5 minutes?
Yeah.
So if y'all want any call-ins, please do call in. We're not going to say no to y'all. So.
Oh, my goodness. Shoot, hold on.
I know that Levi said somebody else was going to call.
Yeah, I had a reserved spot. Hold on, I'll try calling him.
Yeah, let's see.
Hello?
Hello?
This is Offside Opinions podcast.
Offside Opinions. I've been trying to reach y'all. This is Jerry. Jerry down in Dallas. How you boys doing? How you boys doing? Jerry?
Pretty good. How about you, Jerry?
Oh, pretty good. I gotta whisper a little bit. It's a little bit offsides for me to be calling in middle afternoon. Usually I'm supposed to be working. But, I heard about y'all's podcast.
Yeah.
Long-time listener, first-time caller, boys. How you doing? Good day to you.
Yeah, good day to you, too.
Good day to you, too.
What'd you think about the Cowboys' loss?
Yeah, well, we just get this started right straight ahead now. Uncle Levi, I hear you know a little bit about this. Can I get a how about them Cowboys?
No, you cannot because you failed to recover a blocked punt.
Wait. Let's rewind the tape here. I can't continue this unless I get a how about them Cowboys?
Nope.
No. Well, let me just tell you boys how I see it, how Uncle Jerry sees it. You got a minute?
Yeah.
Alright, this is the way I see it. I think we had a really, really strong showing for the Cowboys last night.
I mean, it was the Bengals.
Yeah, well, it was the Bengals, and the scoreboard was rarely all there is to the story, boys. Surely you know that by right now.
Yeah.
You know that by right now. I mean, look, the Cowboys came out hot. They got some early points. My boy Cooper the Pooper Rush looked pretty fierce. Pretty fierce. You have to agree with me, right?
I got it. I mean, he did throw an interception, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was pretty well. He was pretty hot. All right, Zeke, man. Zeke looks strong.
I cannot agree with that.
That cat came to play, and that's even before I get to Capante, flammable as turpentine turpin.
No.
He's shaping up to be the best 4'11" scat back the NFL's ever seen. Agree with me, boys? You with me?
Too far.
You think so?
Yep,
You
I think
agree,
so.
Right? How about them draft picks?
And not even mentioning CeeDee Lamb.
No, I mentioned CD. He came to play, but Cavante. How about that guy?
I mean,
If you draft somebody who's less than 130 pounds and less than 5 foot, put him on the field, have him run with the big boys. Yeah, that's the point.
yeah.
But if I really had to break it down, all of it, it was an unfortunate loss. But as I said, the score is rarely all the story.
Yeah.
The X factor in last night's Monday Night Football game. Do you guys know what that was? What was that X factor? Do you know? Huh?
Nope. I didn't watch the game.
I thought surely you would have picked it up. It was Joe Burrow's blonde highlights. Did you see those? Did you see him with his helmet off? He had those blonde tips.
I hate that hair.
I've never seen anything like that.
I hate that hair.
It was a travesty. It should have been illegal. There should have been flags flying all over the field, and there weren't. I can't believe it. I don't know why, but those tips cost the Cowboys the playoff contention.
As if you were ever in playoff contention.
Always in playoff contention. This is America's team. Come on, say it with me, Levi. How about them Cowboys?
In the same division as the Commanders and Eagles? I don't think so.
Oh,
What were your thoughts on the miffed punt?
what do you guys? You guys are so focused on just a bit.
Yeah, because it was the reason you lost the game.
You gotta think big picture. How about them Joe Burrow highlights?
If you think big picture about everything, and you don't do the small things right, then how are you supposed to ever win the big games? You can't.
Hey, I delivered you 2 Super Bowls. 2 Super Bowls. Can't you just be thankful? Yeah.
Anything else?
Don't ya?
Well,
All right. What do you guys got?
well, we were just, listening to you.
Yeah. I mean, all I had to say was the bad punt.
Sized it all right up. I mean, the punt, that was all like I was drinking my skybox at that point in time, so I didn't really, old Jerry's got bigger fish to fry at that point.
Well, thank you for calling in.
Yeah,
Much
thanks.
appreciated.
All right. How about them Cowboys? Good evening to you.
Yeah, see ya.
Good evening to you too. One very spirited fellow indeed.
Big Cowboys fan, I guess.
I guess. He was definitely named for Jerry. Anyways.
Any other call-ins? If not, we're done.
Yeah, this is the last call for the call-ins. You guys have about 3 minutes if y'all want to call in. 3 minutes. So, if you want to Go ahead and give us one. We'll probably do one more if time permits, maybe two. What were your thoughts on? Do you think that Aziz Al-Shire should have been suspended for 3 games?
I do not think he should have been suspended for any games. I think, as I said earlier, I don't think ejection was even necessary. It was definitely a personal foul. And, a hit like that puts a quarterback on IR for basically the rest of the season, it at least deserves a personal foul. I got to grant him that. But I don't know. Seeing it from different angles after the game was over, I think it was I don't think it was a dirty enough hit to deserve 3-game suspension.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I mean, Aziz Al-Shire, albeit it was a big hit, but really, if you're gonna slide late, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be ready for that. If you don't want to get hit like that, play it safe, run out of bounds.
Yeah. Or just make rules against being able to do a fake slide or something and just prevent the entire problem of having defensive people just pew in there. So.
Yeah.
2 minutes till we're done, so better find your way to a call-in.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to call in, please. I didn't put any takes in here. I'm just kind of making small talk at this point when I was gonna give more time to call-ins because a lot of people wanted to call in last week. But I guess nobody wants to.
Now's your chance.
Yeah, now's your chance. Come on. You can probably get one in. There's still 2 minutes left. Do you think that the Chiefs are going to be able to, or is the Mafrauder going to be able to fix his Mafraudness soon?
Well, I mean, they picked up I can't remember his name. They picked up their old corner from last year, or no, from 4 years ago, but he retired last year. And, that'll help out with the defense probably. I mean, he's old and he hasn't played in a while, but we'll see. I think, now that Isaiah Pacheco is back, with him getting back into the rhythm, that'll definitely help out. I mean, the backups have been doing great, but that'll definitely help. We got our last call in.
Last call of the day. Here we go.
Hello.
Hello, is this Offside Opinion?
This is Offside Opinion.
How about them Cowboys?
No, not this again.
I have one question for you guys.
Okay.
Top 3 defenses in the league at the moment.
Vikings defense. For the run defense.
Okay, fine. You can go with Vikings. We're fine with that. Vikings, definitely the.
The Eagles probably for the pass defense. You
could say the Eagles for the pass team, so it would make sense. But after what happened to the Panthers,
yeah, we'll see if that continues.
The Chiefs' defense has been solid, but it's not been anything too special.
You brought up Chargers; they're solid.
Yeah, I was going to say the Chargers are solid. The Ravens depends on the day.
Yeah. Depends on if Kyle Hamilton has a concussion or not.
Yeah, but then I think 3 you can. I think it goes Vikings are at 3. I think that Steelers are at 2.
Oh yeah.
And then I think Chargers right now they have the best defense. It's just overall composite defense. I think they have the best defense.
With how much Browns have been messing with teams, you might put them in there just for Myles Garrett, but
they're not really anybody who we're expecting to do anything. But yeah, I feel like the only reason why they've been bad is because Jameis Winston's being able to turn over the ball so much, so their stats are getting looking worse.
Yeah. Anything else?
No.
All right, thank you.
W stream.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How about them Cowboys?
Skol Vikings.
All right. So thank you for tuning in to episode 5. We'll be back next week, same time. You already know. So yeah, we'll see y'all next week. Thank you.
Yep.